Welcome to Mindfully Integrative Podcast with your host, Dr. Damaris G. Mindfully Integrative is a podcast discussing ways toward mindfully incorporating integrative health into our lives. This podcast will have informative resources, fun topics, interviews, and discussions relatable for today with a true mindful perspective in a mind-body, holistic life approach.
Hi, how are you? This is the Mindfully Integrative Show, and this is Damaris Maria Grossman. And today we have an amazing mindful chat with Barry Nicolau. He has, oh my gosh, his history and what he can do. He's corporate coach, he's a mindful coach, personal development, business. He's manifested many things, but he has a book called 11 Master Secrets, and he's actually coming out with a second book, as I've just realized today, Move the Mountain. And I can't wait for you guys to speak to him and learn more, because he talks about gratitude leadership, and I think that's just so cool. So thanks so much, Barry, for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me, Damaris. It's beautiful to be here with you.
And I know you're from down under and taking some time, and so I think it's awesome. So touch base with us and let the audience know something that they may not know, a little fun fact.
A little fun fact about me is, I don't know if it's fun, but it's definitely a fact.
Yeah.
I've become, I've gone from being very analytically minded to very trust-based oriented with my life. And that's something, being Greek, it's something that I've embraced because it isn't something that is really congruent to the culture itself. It's very much believing in, God and having this source of who you are and where you're going in life. But whether it's fun or not, I've been less reliant on the people around me, and I've been more reliant on my connection to God and the connection to what I want to be doing with my life. And that's been a very, very long journey for me, because it's gone against a lot of upbringing and a lot of
against the grain.
Yes, a lot of codependency that gets brought up within the family. I've kind of, for better or for worse, tried to become more self-reliant, and sometimes that upsets people, especially the people that you love most. So life ends up being something that, if you're not happy within yourself, you definitely aren't happy within a family dynamic or in a work dynamic. So it ends up, you have to be in a position where you support yourself, and then you're in a position to support other people.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, until you're okay with you, you can't be okay with all the rest, right? But that takes time. I mean, I even that could just be ebb and flow. Could be moments up, down. And, with family, it's still family. So you still want to make it work.
Yeah.
So I can imagine it could probably be, but I'm glad that you've obviously have come on your own.
Yeah, no, I think it's important, because I think being Greek as well, there's a part of our culture, a part of my culture that feels very, very codependent on each other, which is great in one respect, but I didn't feel like running one decision past 20 people. It ends up being 20 different opinions, right? So you've got to get to a situation where you appreciate, and you just let people know in a lovely way, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm planning to do. The people that really love you and trust you and want the best for you, they don't argue. They go, you should do what's in your heart. The people that have opinions, that definitely want to exert their influence on what you should and shouldn't be doing, ends up being something on the back burner for me. So it was a very difficult process to go through, but at the same time, it ended up being very valid for me. And that was the first hurdle for me, Damaris, in trying to, become more self-reliant. Yeah. But it's been that combined with another 20 different areas of life ended up fueling me into what I'm doing today. So it's exciting.
I mean, I think that's so important, because now what you're doing is even more profound. I mean, you're helping others in a business sense, personal development, gratitude. You've taken it to another level. What kind of got you to that point? Was there something what was something happened that was kind of your pivotal point?
It's actually weird that you said that. I had an epiphany at a cemetery in 2015. And there wasn't a funeral. I was actually killing an hour, more or less, because I was early for an appointment. And my customer called me and said, Barry, I'm running late. Can you delay my appointment an hour? And I'm like, yes. And my car felt like it steered itself. This is really surreal here for me, because even thinking back now, 7 years ago, I don't know anyone that's buried in this cemetery. My car just went inside it, and I started walking amongst these graves, and you start doing the maths, Damaris, between when people were born and when people died, and you realize like something quite profound. You realize that not everyone was in their 80s and 90s when they passed. You're getting 20, 30, 40-year-olds in the cemetery as well. And then there's a horrible section which has children in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then you start to get a realization of who you are and where you're at, and if you were doing what lights you up. And at the time I wasn't. Like, I was in the shoe industry in Sydney, Australia. I was helping people sell shoes to wholesale and had great relationships. The money was great. It was all fantastic, but there was a yearning in me that wasn't being fulfilled, and I didn't understand how to fill it. So then all of a sudden, I leant up against my car at this cemetery. I closed my eyes and I was in complete vulnerability to God. And I just said, if I'm doing something wrong, if I feel like if you have this path for me to walk, I need to know what it is. And at that moment, this is going to sound spooky, but at that moment, I felt 3 words bombard me on a different level, like on a level that I've never felt before. And those 3 words were live your life. It's all like, if the graves could all speak and just communicate 3 words, that was it. And I dismissed that. I thought it was crazy talk. I thought I was going insane. I thought there must be a clinical understanding here of what's going on. So I forgot about it. I just put it out of my mind. And that night I went to bed. And I wake up at 3 a.m. with a cold sweat. And the word your was like burning in my mind, like glowing, like live your life. Don't try and live a life based on somebody else's opinions and what have you. And then I asked myself some really down deep personal questions, which I was scared to answer. And those questions were like, what lights you up? What do you want to do? And I just started writing at 3 a.m, Damaris. I just started writing about the things that lit me up. And then I started to research people that have come back from adversity, like ultimate hardship, disease, illness, divorce, anything like hardship, trauma, car accidents. And how did they come back from such adversity? And if they've come back from that, how could the rest of us have an excuse in not going for what we really want to do?
Right.
Seriously, I started to ask some serious questions.
Like, seriously.
And then I just started writing about those things. It wasn't meant to be a book. It wasn't meant to be chapter headings. It just fell into place like pieces of a puzzle that just fell naturally into place. And I'm like, there's all green lights here. This feels right. This feels good. And it felt different to all the other areas in my life when I was struggling and I was trying to work things out and I was trying to understand why this isn't working. What am I doing wrong? And then I've since learned that, the book's gone on to be number 1 in 6 countries, 19 categories on Amazon. And that was 7 years ago. And I've since learned that there are green lights in life. Like, there are areas where you'll have no resistance. It could be a relationship. It could be a work scenario. It could be a business that you fall into. It could be something. Those green lights definitely need you to move forward. Like, you have to move forward. And the red lights that you're struggling at, I'm not saying don't work on them, but I'm saying that don't sit there at the expense of the green lights. And that's something that I've learned as a trust-based energy, that the green lights will get you around your red lights. And it ends up being a beautiful way to live.
And I like how you say that. I mean, I usually call it like resistance versus like the blockages versus the openness. And it's sounding like you're trying to go toward more of the open instead of dealing with all of these like stops. Like, hey, I can't do this, because then I guess you can't move forward.
Yeah, it ends up being a very frustrated energy. And then what happens, and something that I've learned quite deeply, is whatever you're not transforming through, you're transmitting. Whatever you feel like you got hang-ups for, you end up speaking to your environment, the people, the scenarios, your job, your business, whatever it is. You end up transmitting your hang-ups, not so much in an aggressive vocal way, but in a very passive aggressive way. And I was doing that. I was like, I'm frustrated. I'm not doing anything right. And all of a sudden that would come out in my conversations with other people. And I didn't want that. And I could feel that I was doing that. And it wasn't right, because the energy, the forward moving energy that I wanted to place into great projects, I wasn't putting that forward moving energy. I was putting a frustrated energy into it, but I didn't know it at the time. So I'm thinking to myself, so as soon as you get that feeling where you're doing the right thing and this feels good, I'm all about that understanding of something feeling good for me. The energy feels right. Then I move forward in that area. If something is a consistent struggle that I'm trying to put together and it's still falling apart every time, I'm finding that I'm just going to leave that on the back burner for the time being while I focus on these green lights. And all of a sudden what happens is that as you focus on the green lights, the red lights end up clearing through, or you end up going, well, that path wasn't necessarily for me. So it is this trust-based energy that you've got to almost give in to going. For me, it was, God, just show me the next right move. That's what it was. It wasn't show me $1 million a year or show me this. Right. Show me the next right move. What does that look like?
And then when you do that, for you?
And then the book came about that way. The new book came about that way as well. There wasn't meant to be a second book. Just to let you know.
How long did it take you to get the second book, written?
It took me a year to write it. And again, 6 a.m. mornings for me is when I do my best writing. So this time in Sydney, Australia.
Yeah, I'm a morning person writer too.
And it's actually science to back that. There's actually science to say that you make your best decisions in the morning, and then as the day progresses, you should be making less important decisions into the evening. But you make your most.
I'm definitely a morning one.
Yeah.
With a toddler, I'm even more of a morning person, but I try to do the most that I can in my mornings. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely
after 8 o'clock. You don't even want to talk to me. 7, 8 o'clock. Nope, don't ask me anyway. Anything else off.
Yeah. No, I definitely know the toddler scenario. That's for sure. But no, it's good. You end up fueling a part of your soul that in this lifetime that you're in, there are certain lessons and there are certain joys you should be taking on. And if you don't focus on that and you die one day, whenever that is, and you go, I've got regret. I didn't turn left there. I turned right. And if I turned left, I wonder what would have happened. So you get to a stage where I'm trying my best to live a life of no regret. And that means making courageous decisions. That means doing what 90% of the population won't do. You value sleep, so do I. But I'm up there trying to do my best. And what's interesting, I've got 2 girls, Damaris. Grace is 6 almost, and Harmony is 2.5.
Oh, beautiful.
And the second book
you're dealing with the little ones like me.
Yeah, it's crazy time because they fight and there's
no sleep and there's
sleep.
Fun.
No sleep. But you end up being I ended up writing this second book for them. It is a guide on a possible way to live if they choose this calling, which is to, I guess, in some respect, just make sure that you listen to those innermost, I guess, yearnings within your soul. So for them, I've put something, the first 5 pages is dedicated to them, and whatever they do with the book is up to them. But at this time in my life, I was meant to write it for them.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, I'm trying to do a children's book and I write in my book. And yeah, I can imagine. I know the feelings. Yeah, you just want to, bring as much of your guidance as you can to your little ones, right? It's and to anyone. I mean, that's what we're here. We're putting, our voices to be heard so that some ripples in life can be made.
Absolutely. So yeah, it is. It's a cool journey, and I don't know if you do this the same, Damaris, but I sometimes draw parallels between having children and the way that God sees his children, which is us. Basically we're all sophisticated adults. We all think for ourselves, and the ego gets involved in a great many ways. But really, our core deep program within all of us is the want to receive and give love. That doesn't change whether you're 5 or 50. It's you were born from love and you want to receive. I mean, the psychology behind social media is built on that. It is built on the psychology of, Barry wants to receive love. How do we give him more likes? How do we give him more
love, more connection, more this, more, yeah.
Yeah. And then we crave digital love, it ends up being this.
Totally.
Yeah, so it ends up, we are born of love and we are born to love. And I think those 2 cravings need to be satisfied in this life, in every life. And the way we go about that is there's millions of different ways. But the end result is, how do I receive more and how do I give more? Like this podcast for you, Damaris, is the way for you to give love. You know,
Yeah, to give as much guidance to others and listen to their stories
yeah.
that someone can learn something, you know?
And I can see that. Like I can see that in your eyes. I can see that in your face. I can see that in the way you hold yourself, in the way you communicate. It's like, how may I be of service? This is how I can be of service. So you're doing it. Like, it's not like it's a thought in your head that you thought one day I might do this. It's like, no, this is going to happen. No, I've got the kids. I'm busy, but I'm going to make this happen as well. I'm going to speak to people all over the world.
It's important. I don't know. Something came to me on one of my meditations a couple years back, and it said, this is something you need to do. So gracefully, it's been working.
Yeah, it's been definitely working. You're speaking across the world, you know, it's like your reach now is huge, you know, and you think to yourself, this feels right. This feels good. I'm speaking about my truths and I'm getting my truths and the guests that I've got on board out there, and it feels good for me. And it's the same for me. It's like, how do I communicate with great people all over the world and spread this message? And I think that's where we're at as people. It's like, you've got to find your tribe. You got to find the people that believe what you believe. All of a sudden you sing it louder because you believe it, right? And that's what my life's about. I'm like, God, show me my people. Like, show me them. Where are they? I know they're out there. All of a sudden, the right people. It's insane where we go wrong. I'll tell you where we go wrong as a species. We think that unless we know how something's going to happen, we think that it won't.
Yeah.
And God has a million ways to bring you your desires. Like literally, like he has got so many different ways. Just because it doesn't happen the way you think it's going to happen doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And that's part of the prayer. That's part of the meditation. It's like, I'm open, like however you think this should work out for me. You've got the aerial view of my life, you know, I've got the ground view. What the hell do I know? You're like, with a car, Damaris, we can see what, a mile ahead from the aeroplane, you see a whole city. So come on now, like you got to relinquish, and then you have children, like I have children, and you make decisions for them because they're so young, and you know that your intentions are the best for the child. The child does not know that.
Right.
The child just thinks you're being an absolute
whatever.
Yeah, right. You're holding back sugar.
I have to go to sleep. Yeah, holding back sugar. I have to sleep. What?
Yeah.
I don't want to sleep.
Crazy. It is. So then why can't that work for that? Why can't it work for the aerial view of our lives? Why can't we leave that to a higher power? And for me, it's like, that's one of the learnings in life. Can you relinquish the ego for long enough that you put a trust-based energy out there, and that trust-based energy has the aerial view of the lessons that you need to learn to get you to that next understanding. And from that next understanding to take that action. And from that action to impact those people. And from those people to have a broader ramification of global impact or whatever it is.
Love it.
And
I love the trust-based energy. Oh, that sounds so superb. I like how you stated that. It's great.
It's hard to do though, because as a species, we're hardwired on how something works. You know, how we're going to get to school on time. How are we going to get to work on time? We're going to have breakfast now, to have a shower, to hop in the car, to drive. Like, how are these things going to happen? And we're all about the how. The issue is when it comes to macro, when it comes to larger life events, that you relinquish some of that control and say, okay, I'm trying my best. God, show me the next right move in the direction that I know you know is right for me.
Is right.
And like number sequences, Damaris, for me is crazy. The number 88 appears 15 to 20 times a day. It is. For me, it is insane. Like, I'm just driving my car, I'm looking left and all right, and there's 88, and I'm just driving, my thoughts somewhere else. Oh, there's an 88. All of a sudden, I'm driving home. I've got spaghetti on the table for the kids. The spaghetti is in the form of an 88. I'm like, this is a little bit weird here. How is this actually happening? And I've taken that as a sign of just keep going. And the number 8 is infinite love. So it's just never ending love. And those two numbers, it's a fortune-based, wealth-based number, but money is one thing, but it's the inner wealth that we're all craving. It's the inner love the inner abundance that we're all craving.
Yeah. I love that. I do. I think that's good. Infinite. When my son goes, I love you. I'm like, infinite. I love you more. Infinite plus infinity.
Yes, exactly. You'll do anything for them.
Of course. I mean, I so much appreciate you being on the show today, and your wealth of knowledge and those that like sharing with those here. Would you like to leave a way that people can reach you? And I know that your book is coming out too.
Absolutely. So just if you want to, probably the best place to catch me these days is on Instagram or LinkedIn. So if you just Google my name, just Barry, Nicolaou. Just Google my name, you'll see some information come up. You can click on a link. A lot of my work's done on LinkedIn these days, and you'll see the new book there. Yeah.
Excellent.
And reach out on Instagram or whatever it is. But I wish you all the very, very best. Whoever's listening, I wish you all the very, very best on your journey. And I hope that you trust the next right lesson that's in front of you to get you to the next right move. It's truly exciting.
Well, I really appreciate your time and your wealth of knowledge and those little nuggets that people need to hear, and that trust-based intuition energy. Oh, that's awesome. So,
no problem.
You're bringing nothing but positive love to those surrounding you and those across the world.
Thank you very much. It means a lot for you to say that. It's great to be in this space for sure.
I really appreciate your time, and thank you guys for listening. And make sure you find a mindful way each and every day.
Thank you for listening to the Mindfully Integrative Show with Dr. Damaris Maria Grossman, family nurse practitioner. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not the substitute for professional medical advice. Diagnose or treat. Always consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your healthcare routine. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you enjoyed our show, please support us by leaving a mindful review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite streaming platform. Interested in being a guest or more information? Email us at info@mindfullyintegrative.com. For resources mentioned in the show, visit our website at www.mindfullyintegrative.com. You can also connect mindfully with Dr. Damaris on her social media links found on the site. May your strength and peace guide you to find a mindful way every day. Namaste.